The Christmas Awakening. Chapter 1.
It's from
A
Callum, by the way.
Christmas Wish. It was the night before Christmas. It was cold outside, and the Oswald Twizzle air was thick with soot and the smell of petrol. A slight teenage boy was sat around an open fire with his family. Oh, fuck. It's gonna keep doing this, isn't it? With his family.
Keep your finger
The
on
boy's name was Joseph Flanagan. Got my name wrong. But it's fine. He stared into the fire with longing in his eyes. The Flanagan family had a tradition of making a wish the eve before Christmas. Everyone would sit down around the fire and write whatever they desired most on a piece of paper and throw it into the fire, hoping for a Christmas miracle. What do you wish for this year, husband? Mrs. Flanagan squawked a thick Oswald Twizzle bro. Well, you know, I already have everything I want. A beautiful wife and a strong, athletic son. He chuckled. Oh, shut up, you silly wanker, Mrs. Flanagan. And what are you wishing for this year, young Joseph? Mrs. Flanagan asked, knowing that young Joe longed for so many things. Friendship, muscular arms, to be the dungeon master of his own bi-monthly Dungeons and Dragons campaign. Joe knew he couldn't tell his mother what it was he desired most. He trembled at the thought of her finding out, so he told her something else that he longed for. Mother, this year, what I really desire is a jazzy mustache to cover my upper lip. I just know I'll be a great musician if I can only grow up some facial hair. Joe's mother looked worried. She didn't want Joe to be disappointed on Christmas Day, which
Stop pausing.
But he was already 15 years old, and he hadn't grown so much as a hair. Oh, Joe, she said, you'll have a finer mustache than any jazz musician that ever lived in no time. A solitary tear ran down her cheek. She hated lying to her son. Even if only to save his feelings. Mrs. Flanagan, now we're Flanagan, bored of the festivities and ready to take his wife to bed for a good twizzling, stood up out of his chair and threw his note into the fire. Come on now, Joe. Write down your wish so we can all get some sleep. He winked at Mrs. Flanagan. I'm gonna read this to my mum and dad. Young Joseph wrote his wish down on his piece of paper and threw it into the fire. Only he knew what the note really said. As he threw the note, his hairless penis throbbed with arousal. He felt the strong guilt and shame that only a teenager loner knows. Joseph's note read, I wish to lose my virginity to a busty MILF with a giant booty. The family all went upstairs to bed, each one of them sad in the knowledge that unfortunately, even on the most magical eve of the year, wishes don't come true. Tonight, however, young Joseph would learn that sometimes magic comes to those that need it most. Chapter 2. Ho ho ho's. Joseph awoke startled. He heard a crash coming from the living room. Anxiously, he rose from his bed, his pajamas full of sweat, and crept down the stairs. Joseph slowly opened the living room door until he could just see through a crack. He couldn't believe his eyes! Santa! He trembled, opening the door and walking into the room. He turned the light on to reveal the mysterious figure stood in front of the fireplace. Not Santa, but I did receive your wish, Joseph. It was Miss Claus. She was a busty MILF with a giant booty. His wish had come true. Miss Claus was stood there, dwarfing the room with her size. She was wearing a jumbo thong bikini reminiscent of Santa's classic outfit. Joseph, "You've been a very naughty boy, haven't you?" she said softly. Joseph couldn't believe what was happening. He shivered with excitement, and his adolescent wang began to tremble as he began to realize what was happening. Joseph
Definitely
opened his mouth to speak, but no words came out. "No need to be worried," said Miss Close. "I'll show you the ropes." She proceeded to walk across the room towards Joseph and grabbed him gently by his testicles. She pulled him close and whispered in his ear, "I'm going to need some help, though." That instant, a crashing was heard from the chimney, and out rolled a Christmas elf, a reindeer, and a snowman.
Fucking payback, man.
Joseph looked worried, but Miss Close told him not to worry, as she massaged his testicles. She led him into the middle of the room where the elf and the snowman undressed him. He was as hard as a candy cane and was already not to shoot a stream of Christmas gravy all over the living room. "Careful," said the snowman. "If you hit me with your streaming load, I could melt and die." The snowman got right behind Joseph and began to massage his anus with his carrot nose. The young boy felt very naughty indeed, but he decided he would never want to be on the nice list ever again. The elf, being only very small, climbed up Joseph until he was on his head and hung from his hair, putting his small elf penis just inside young Joseph's mouth and began to gently hump it. It was only small and Joseph didn't mind. By this point, Miss Close had knelt down and began to kiss the tip of Joseph's penis. Joseph moaned and grabbed Miss Close's white hair and pulled her mouth over his throbbing erection. The reindeer was sat on the object watching. He was feverishly rubbing his large reindeer cock with two hooves and making sexy reindeer noises. Joseph could barely stop himself from releasing his boy beans. Miss Close could tell and stopped the Christmas orgy so that Joseph could lose his virginity, as he had wished. The snowman and the elf went to join the reindeer and all watched as Miss Close lay Joseph down in front of the fireplace. "Are you ready, Joseph?" she asked. "Yes, please," squeaked Joseph. She placed Joseph's penis inside her and began to ride him. He couldn't hold it any longer and squealed as his whole body convulsed. As he climaxed, so did the elf, reindeer, and snowman. They showered him in hot goo and cold snow. "Thank you," whimpered Joseph. "Won't you stay longer?" he asked. "Unfortunately, we cannot. You weren't the only boy to wish to lose his virginity tonight," she chuckled. "You were the best so far, though, Joseph. Most young virgins can't take the whole carrot quite like you do." With this remark, the Christmas foursome left up the chimney. Joseph went back upstairs to bed, not quite believing of what had happened. He immediately fell asleep and didn't rise until morning. Chapter 3. A Christmas Miracle. Joseph woke up, feeling like he'd had a very sexy dream. Had it really happened? He went downstairs to join his family. As he arrived in the kitchen, his whole family gasped and his mother burst into tears. What is it?" exclaimed Joseph. "It's a Christmas miracle," Miss Flanagan sobbed. "How could they know?" Joseph worried. "By gum, Joe, you got the finest jazz moustache I've ever seen," gasped Mr. Flanagan. Joseph ran to the bathroom to see for himself, and there it was, the jazziest moustache on the planet, sitting above his top lip. It was then that he knew it hadn't been a dream. He really had become a man. Joseph began to weep and whispered under his breath, "Thank you, Miss Claus, reindeer, elf, and snowman." The end. Thank you, Callum. That was fucking
Way too much time on it.